All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was the longest non-intro with voice ever. And the longest intro went for naught. Over 5 years, that was the longest intro. And welcome again to the SSN Nation Financial and Wealthy Wednesday night live stream. It's financial Armageddon, America. That's what I was describing earlier. But I'm not going to get into it because that intro was missed, but I'm still going to say welcome to the SSN Nation, ladies and gentlemen, once again, because financial Armageddon means a lot of things. You need to first be able to take care of yourself financially. I don't mean working in a job. That job could be gone bye-bye. I don't mean where you have your own business and you're happily rolling along and everything's moving smoothly. I mean something that you're going to have to produce yourself. Because if your business goes bye-bye, if your job goes bye-bye, if you're cut off from your social services safety nets like Social Security, things of that nature, then what? Your 401k gone. Then what? Your stock brokerage account gone. Then what? I know, financial Armageddon. Wouldn't it be financial Armageddon if you lost all those things and you had no way to make money if you don't have any skills? Walking around like a zombie, joining gangs that are just basically going house to house, taking whatever they can until they don't have anything for everybody that they keep getting in and adding to the group. Oh, yes, I know I'm being a little bit extra, but the point is December 31st, 2026, ladies and gentlemen, you need to make sure your credit score is at 775 or more. We got some tools for you. Don't worry about it. Smart credit and some other things that you can work your way out of it. Debt resolution. Don't worry. We'll get into it. But the first things first, a lot of people already need some help. Findhelp.org. Everybody here on SSN Nation podcast, findhelp.org. It's that simple. Go over there, look and see what it looks like if you need help or members need help or friends need help. You need to go there and look for some services and hope that there's money available from the nonprofits that the federal government and the state government still has funds for. So again, go over there, show some people some love. I just found out something recently as well. I did not know that YouTube changed how you can watch and replay the live chat. I've been leaving links down below in the live chat. The live chat doesn't automatically come up anymore, or is there a toggle text where you used to say, if you want live chat, then click on here. Now, if you're on the mobile version, you click on the comment. You'll see comment section, not more section, but the comment section, and you tap it and swipe to the left, and it actually will say, if you want to see live messages, click here or something to that effect. I was like, are you kidding me right now? So all the links I leave down in the description box, like what I'm about to do now, like the findhelp.org, debt resolution for tracy.sharpe with the E at the end at moneyladder.com, tracy.sharpe, S as in Sam, HARP as in Paul, E at moneyladder.com. All right. So I'm going to leave some of these links in the chat room so we can help people out here. All right. You can get your debt reduced without being detrimental. On the other side, they report you as being paid in full faith. This could be 1 year, 1.5 years, 2 years. It all depends. Everybody's different. Go check it out because you're going to need it, ladies and gentlemen, because the cost of living in America is not going down. Let me explain. But first, let me see who's in the house tonight as well. EV Place got the nice membership logo. Thank you so much for being a member of the channel. I humbly appreciate it. And welcome to the SSN Nation Wealthy Wednesday night live stream. And an investor's here, a business owner's here. He's rocking and rolling, real estate owner. He's here. Offshore real estate, offshore business outside of America. He's here. This is the keys, ladies and gentlemen, for your survival. And he brings a tagline, Good evening. No audio. Exactly. The longest intro ever, and there was no audio, so now I'm going to have to squash it on the replay. But nonetheless, again, if you are watching this on replay later and you want to find out what's in the chat room, because right now I just dropped the links in there for findhelp.org, 211.org. That's for if you have mental health problems. Family members do. You might. 211.org. 211 on your phone. Okay. Same thing. And then if you need debt resolution to improve your credit, not file bankruptcy, not not pay it all and have collections on your credit profile. No, none of that. Debt resolution can help you, ladies and gentlemen, and hit up Tracy via email. All right. I've already given you that info. Now, he brings the other tagline. It's on now. Let's do it. That's what we're out here trying to do, ladies and gentlemen. We're trying to help you, support you. The FDA is doing more recalls of your food. Salmonella. Again, our food is tainted. Don't you think that is a problem? Food is tainted. Now you might have to start getting boxes in your backyard. Grow your own fruits, vegetables, or whatever you're going to need. But you're going to might have to start limiting what's in your grocery stores because there's a lot of recalls. A lot, a ton. In fact, you know what? Let me go. There's a edible cookie dough brand issues nationwide recall. Thank you again, Brian P. And not only that, frozen food distributor issues a recall for positive salmonella test. It's out of control, ladies and gentlemen. And of course, I will give you links in a second, but this is bad. If your food supply is tainted, if your water supply is tainted, which it is here in America, because again, the financial Armageddon's not going to come from the stock market. The stock market's always going to be here. Just keep that in mind in every country. So here's the other thing. Since the stock market is open, there's an Asian market, there's a London market, there's United States market, and I'm missing one, but there's always a stock market open somewhere that if you learn trading, then that means you can survive. At this point, and you're also going to have to deal with brokers. Brokers actually allow you to trade, which means you put money in a brokerage. It's a different trading broker account. Or now you can actually do it on Webull and Moomoo. And if you need free shares of stock to get started with a brokerage account and you want to do trading on those platforms, then I'll have a link down below for you. All right. So, in the chat room for you, because once again, you're going to have to figure out something that you can do to create money yourself with no help from the outside world other than internet. And as you know, you can get internet anywhere in the world these days. So you don't have any boundaries other than if your government blocks you, which is another issue, your passports or IDs, and says it's no good. Like when ICE is arresting USA citizens and putting them in detention camps and they're saying that real ID, it's fake. Of course, they can say any documents are fake. I don't understand why people don't understand that this is a thing. This is what they do when you say to someone you need papers. Then they start picking and choosing which papers are legitimate. Because either way, it's not about the papers. It's not about that. It's about putting you somewhere else, usually in harm's way. So keep that in mind. So when you're sitting there going, well, they're not talking about me right now, they will be talking about you, because when you become a liability, such as you're not one of the good old rich dudes or in this cliquey club that's going on, and then you have to pick sides and they go, well, I'm sorry, we don't really care. You're not with us. We don't really care. It's all good at the beginning, but later on, you find yourself being swept up, just like American citizens right now, swept up in unknown parts of America and shipped outside of America against judges' orders. So keep all these things in mind. Now, let's get to the money thing, because financial literacy is the number one thing that you guys need to understand around here. I'm going to give you guys a definition of financial Armageddon, And I'm going to give it to you from Google. Financial Armageddon refers to a catastrophic, widespread economic collapse, often associated with extreme debt. This $38 trillion deficit, is that not extreme? Does spending $2 trillion this year, and guess what our outcome is? The same after spending $2 trillion, less jobs, less livable wage jobs, less farmers. So your food supply is getting jacked. It's getting smaller and smaller. Less workers to farm the food. Do you not start seeing a problem yet? You can't be wide-eyed and bushy-tailed and gonna sit here a year from now and be like, oh my God, I don't know why everything's going up. I'm sorry, you're in the wrong location for any type of sympathy, because you decided, who's watching this, some of you said, I don't really care what economists say. I don't really care what the person's policy is that's going to be president of the United States or their party. I don't care if they're going to wipe out our ACA. I don't care if they're going to take the Medicare or Medicaid for some of those people. I don't care if they're going to take away SNAP, food assistance for those other people. Yeah, but those other people are 40 million people for food assistance in America. Those other people are 20 million people that have Medicare coverage, Medicaid coverage. That's 60 some million people already affected just from those two. Never mind the millions of jobs being lost and never coming back. So now all of a sudden you have 80 to 100 million people that can't even get a job. Then you turn around and you go, I'll get to the financial Armageddon, but let's get real. Now you turn around and go, okay, Eric, so we got 100 million people. That's right. Bye bye. Who's going to take care of them? Okay, you go with the we're not going to take care of them. So then what are they going to do? Stay on the streets? And then you're going to go, oh man, all these homeless, da da da. Okay, that's not a solution, ladies and gentlemen. You're just going to keep piling more homeless on the street. You know why? Because you guys don't think clearly when you're out here. What happens? What part of our population does not make livable wage job for working 40 hours a week? You're going to add the other 50 to 75 million people who have to work two jobs? That's 175 million people. Are you getting the picture yet? This is why I always told you guys it's a third world country. You guys just don't know it yet because you're not affected, because America has safety nets. We're not like an official third world country because we're going from top down. We're not at the bottom trying to go up. That's why you don't know the difference. But you will know the difference because the next move on you will be check your energy bills, your electrical bills. Now let's get to this. Okay, so it's associated with extreme debt. 38 trillion. We already spent 2 more trillion this year, the highest ever in American history, in the first year of a president's administration. Never happened. So in essence, we're 40 billion. They passed a big, beautiful bill, which is going to add 4 more trillion over the next 10 years to the deficit. So in reality, we're more like 44 trillion, 45 trillion. And we just now did an embargo on Venezuela, which cost us 1 trillion. So in reality, it's 45 to 46 trillion. And you guys want to get some more loans to add some more money to the money supply out of thin air? I haven't even started yet. That's the debt, ladies and gentlemen. Market crashes like 2008, hyperinflation, or the failure of major financial institutions. Well, the Great Recession, we didn't allow the financial institutions to fall like they should have. So allowing them to live created what we have now, because nothing ever changed except our taxpayer money and inflation in the last 15 years that you're now paying for. And oh, by the way, don't get cozy just yet. Just because you have money, don't worry. If hyperinflation kicks in, your money is going to be just like the kids in 1935 when they're kicking stacks of dollar bills down the street, using it as play money because it was worth nothing. That's right. See, it pays when you know history. All right, let's get into it. Hyperinflation, failure of major financial institutions, with authors and commenters using the term to warn about current risk, massive government debt. Remember derivatives and geopolitical instability. Remember when I told you about derivatives? Guess what? It's not 45, 46 trillion dollars of derivatives. Why don't you try something like quadrillion? That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the SSN Nation. Now you guys understand why I started this channel, I hope, because the numbers will not lie. You don't get to run away and hide and go, oh, I didn't know. I didn't know. No, I've been on here 6 years, ladies and gentlemen. I've been telling you about all these numbers. And if you choose to hide, fine. If you believe you're going to be above the fray, fine. That's right. There's always somebody above the fray. That's why there's a top 10%. That's why there's a top 20%. That's why 80% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck during the month. But the 20% who don't, they're saying, what's wrong, Eric? I don't see a problem. What's wrong is your fellow people that live in your country, they're going downhill. You're eventually going to have to support them. Just saying. All right, let's go. Or you better build a fortress because they're going to have to come get what they don't have. That's the real deal. So if you're going to tell me, Eric, we have a problem with, you know, gangsters, we have a problem with crime, but we're going to blame it on immigrants who traveled 1,000, 2,000 miles with their family through cartel territory, food, water is problems, all this. They're going to come all this way just to be gangsters. Okay, there's going to be a few, but it ain't going to be no damn millions. There's going to be a few. There's a bad apple right here in America. All them Europeans that came here slaughtered people, and they're still descendants of them people trying to slaughter people. See, it depends on what you're looking at, your perspective. But you can't blame this on immigrants. They don't own nothing. They can't own something being illegal, allegedly, right? With whatever that means. You can't own something and then turn around and say they got all the jobs. It can't be both. So somebody has all the jobs, or somebody's not paying livable wages, and they ain't the immigrants. They're the millionaires, billionaires, and the corporations. So whenever you decide to reconcile with that, now you can get with the program instead of being left behind. Because I know right now, my friends, my neighbors who make $150,000, $200,000, they're sitting there going, man, I'm all good. My house is worth $1.5, $2 million. Okay, good luck. Because the army of people who don't have something, you notice how many people are squatting in people's homes, trying to take over people's homes. This is not going to stop. So you better figure out how people are going to get livable wage jobs where they are going to work instead of trying to figure out where I'm going to be taking from somebody that works. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to go at it today. Brian P., Mr. Dividends in the house. He's doing the salsa dance all week, every week, because he has dividends coming in from the stock market, mainly Yield Max ETFs, because he started over 2 years ago. He got a head start, a big runway where he has lots of shares, rebuying more shares, and it keeps perpetuating passive income. Stock market, ladies and gentlemen. And in case I did not put it in here, let me put it in here again. Get your free shares of stock. There's Robinhood, there's Moomoo, there's Webull. All right, go sign up. Brian P., welcome to the SSN Nation Wealthy Wednesday night live stream. And he brings his tagline this evening, Happy Day, Eric. And I hope all is well with you and your family. Thank you so much, man. Everything is going well. We're going to find out about how good the family's doing tomorrow, because we're going to have to go see my aunt with her medical situation, and we'll see what they're talking. All right. Happy SSN fam. Happy day. Smash that like button. That's right. Please hit that like button, ladies and gentlemen, because you never know. Well, if you're new here, let's just say the YouTube algorithm, Google algorithm, social media platform algorithms aren't the same for everybody. So I need you to hit that like, the heart, the star, you podcast guys as well. Smash that like button. Again, I appreciate it. All right, let's keep it going. Hey, happy day, assets and fam. Brian P., thank you for checking out emails. You're damn right, man. Things are getting so out of control. Okay, here we are. The frozen food distributor issues 50 recall bare bones by this administration. This is what you're going to get when you take away people who have a career, who have been in it for 20 years, understands what they're supposed to do, and now you put in nobody. You take away all those people and then just have a few that are your sycophants, their friends, family, whatever, and just go, hey, we got to get your $135,000 a year job over here. You can do this. Does that make any sense here in America? USDA can't go around and go check on as many places as they used to, and these businesses are taking control. They're doing shortcuts. That's basically what they're doing. So here it is. Recalled ice cream can contain small stones, FDA warns. That's a whole nother thing. Okay, something called, product name is called Deep Brand Premium Select Certi. Undi mix, keep frozen. I don't know what this is. Deep brand premium select baby bindi, keep frozen. Deep brand premium select chiku slices, keep frozen. They give lot numbers. Oh my, there's more to it. Oh, we got to do here's a link in the chat room, ladies and gentlemen. All right, this is bad. It's a lot more than just those three. There's at least, there's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Okay, this is over 50 brands in here, ladies and gentlemen. Jesus, but they're all called Deep Brand Premium, and they're tapioca, cassava, and it's all frozen. I've never, I don't know what this is, but again, this is what we have to deal with out here. So now you're being warned. And this is not good. This is not good. We'll be going with the second one as well. There's another one. All right. The cookie dough. We have to check out the cookie dough one. I'll let you know about that. But I still got to finish up reading what the financial Armageddon is because I had to go with the derivatives. Remember, it's quadrillion. Again, when I go get a piece of paper, I get a loan. That's a piece of paper. That loan on average is going to be worth, let's just say a home, $500,000. The piece of paper is worth $500,000, but nobody has paid $500,000. So if I get 10 of them, that's $5 million worth of paper. I can go down to a bank or to a financial institution and say, hey, this is people have signed. They started making payments. Everybody's paying on time. And I will say, well, I don't want to wait 30 years to get my $5 million. And how much will you give me for this 5 million piece of paper? They say, well, we'll give you $1 million today, or maybe 1.5, whatever it is. They'll give me a number. And if I like the number, I sell the paper. Now, the paper is not worth 500,000. The people have only paid 10% down or 20, and then they're making monthly payments with interest attached to it. So again, I resell the paper. That's now a derivative. So that person who bought the paper is holding $5 million worth of paper. He bought it for 1.5. All right. Now, what happens if I'm a company such as BlackRock and I bought the paper? And what if I did that to 10 different companies? Right? Now that's $50 million of derivatives. Do you see how this can explode? Now, because I'm BlackRock and I have $1 trillion under management, I can go to the Federal Reserve and say, hey, can you give me an interest only loan for 3.5% for 15 years? And because I have $1 trillion under management, can you give me $300 million or $200 million or $100 million? Money out of thin air creates inflation. So therefore, that's derivatives. So now we're already, just by my example, if BlackRock said I need $200 million, since I have $1 trillion in assets under management, will you give me that loan for interest only so I can go buy some more stuff? You can easily see we have over $150 million of derivatives in a week, just by my example. This is what's happening out here in America. This is why liquidity is a problem. This is why the Federal Reserve has to give banks liquidity overnight so they can exchange and swap monies around. That's right. They're robbing Peter to pay Paul, but not really robbing. What they're doing is moving money around. And people do not understand, sooner or later, guess what? Somebody's going to have to pay the piper. Or 2008, where banks were going to fail, is the other alternative, except this time we won't have enough ways out of it. And that means you, as a citizen, it's Armageddon. So now, after the geopolitical instability, urging action to protect personal finances before a potential systemic meltdown. Again, this is why you have 1 year and 2 weeks, December 2026, the 31st of December 2026, you need a job. You're going to need passive income. You're going to need to be able to make money on your own. I'm not saying the meltdown occurs then. I'm just saying be prepared. Get offshore bank accounts, or one, I don't really care, offshore business entity or offshore real estate or offshore credit cards, debit cards, some way to make money and put it outside of Americans' reach. Because they will be grabbing your bank accounts, they will be grabbing brokerage accounts, they will be grabbing your gold and the silver and anything else. And I'm not saying this is going to happen next year or in 2027. All I'm saying is it's already rolling downhill, that big ass snowball. And the wealthier you are, the better you're going to be able to stay above the fray. And again, people's passports have already been held up. American citizens, I'm referring to. Just saying, the reason why is because on the passports they said M for male, female, other, or whatever. There was a third choice. Because the third choice generally went for people that would say, well, I'm something else, male, female, vice versa, that I was born I'm born, I want to establish something other than what I was born. So they had a third option. They took the third option away. So all those people, their passports were no longer valid. Not saying they can't get new ones. I'm just saying that a government did it. So again, you got to be very, very careful out here. All right. So here's common warnings and triggers: U.S. debt ceiling, geopolitical shifts, past crises. All right. Now, with that said, I have the other thing that I mentioned earlier, because that's what financial Armageddon is. You guys recognize some of these things because we've been talking about those for years. So what I'm going to do is right now, every live stream, I've been saying, people start trading, learn how to trade. So because somebody gifted me the Candlestick Bible, and yes, I'm on page, in fact, let me go look and see, because I was actually doing some more studying. I'm up to page 102. That's right. This is pretty impressive stuff that they're telling people. This could help you for life. So go over here, get the Candlestick Bible. I'm going to give you the PDF in the chat room. All right. So at least this way you have this PDF, because you never know. If more and more people, that's why you start seeing a lot of trading. I get a lot of trading advertisements and all kind of stuff now. It's out of control, but I don't know anything about it. I'm studying out month, what is it? 3.5, 4 months, we'll call it. So I'm studying. The Candlestick Bible is 168 pages. And the reason it takes a minute is because you should also have an account up. So you should have charts up from the stock market. So whether you want to use, Robinhood or, well, Webull, Moomoo, because you can do trading on those, or you're broke, whatever you're using. And I use Coinex, for instance. So I always tell everybody, use Coinex, right? Sign up as Coinex as a broker, as a sign up under Coinex, because Coinex is the broker. And the reason why, I just admit, it's offshore. I mean, it's not regulated by the United States government. And so I'm just like, and by the way, if anybody doesn't understand being regulated, what do you think's going on in Venezuela right now, where the United States put a blockade against another country? Isn't that a war situation? So again, they're roaming around. Venezuela has done nothing to America. All right, but yet America has spent $800,000 in military action. I'm pretty sure after today or tomorrow, it's going to go past $1 billion easily. Um, so, taxpayers, that's what's happening. Your taxes are going to go up even further. Now, the CoinEx broker, here it is. I put it down there. You upload using crypto to their accounts. So, therefore, you can always use USDT, USDC, and you can send back your winnings from your trading to wherever you want. Now, again, remember, crypto goes across borders. Just saying. So that does not mean you have to put your crypto back into a regulated bank account here or exchange. Okay. Coin, all the exchanges here are regulated, which means your government can take your money, which is your crypto. Just saying. And I suggest everybody checks out the Clarity Act, because if that Clarity Act passes, you will be in trouble. There are loopholes where this is going to be scam city, because it allows people to call tokens or coins or NFTs or other crypto properties collectibles, for one, or meme coin or whatever, and you can collect up to $300 million without being licensed or regulated by the United States government. There's a portion in it right now, it has not passed, that they're talking about. And that right there, ladies and gentlemen, means we are going to be freaking India, third world country, Africa nations that most people associate scamming with, Nigeria, third world country. That means what's happening right now when people get ripped off from those crypto programs, we all have, that means there's no enforcement, because it's not up to, it's allowed to do whatever, up to 300 million based on a concept of a plan. We're making the utility token. We're coming out with something. We're going to make it work. So buy our token, buy our coin, buy our NFT, buy our nodes. It doesn't even have to come to fruition. They can get up to 300 million. After 300 million, now all of a sudden they want to do regulation. Give me a break. I'm watching the dude right now pardon people that have stole hundreds of millions of dollars from Medicare and Medicaid. They did Medicare and Medicaid fraud. He's pardoning them. A guy brings 400 tons of coke into America. They pardon him. I'm like, whoa, what are we doing out here? You think they're going to care about your ass? You better get with it, ladies and gentlemen. Just saying. All right. So I'm giving you the Candlestick Bible. One, I gave you the Coinbase, because you can get a demo account. So when you're reading the Candlestick Bible, you can get a demo account from any of the brokers. And while you're reading the Candlestick Bible, you can also read some of the charts. So then you'll start seeing patterns that they're talking about. So then you can always reference it. So then you can start forming your ideas, because they help form your idea anyhow using information, right? They'll give you tools. They're going with tools in there, and they'll show you how to mark up your charts to give you an advantage on how to make an optimal trade. You can't win them all, ladies and gentlemen, but you want to put yourself in position so you're not going in like most people and being 95% of people who trade lose money. Beginners lose all their money. 90 to 95% of beginning traders lose their hard-earned money because they normally don't study. Again, 1 month and a half I've been studying. All right. I did what everybody else did. Somebody told me they had an Autobot. I got the Autobot, right? AI Autobot thing. It worked well for like 3, 4, 5 times in a row. Then all of a sudden, it did not work well. Blowing friends, almost my account, the wife's accounts, because it went the other way. And then we found out, because we didn't know trading, that it traded on a downward trend is why it was winning, because gold was going down for a couple of weeks. But when it started going up, all of a sudden everybody's losing. And we're like, wait a minute, it went up. Why are we losing all the money? It was actually not good that there's a spike. So now it blows your account, meaning you could lose $1,000, $1,500, $2,000 because it's going up and it's going against what this Autobot's doing. So then I was like, wait a minute, I don't know how to trade. I was relying on this because everybody was winning. But now, since it did that, I'm like, hold on, I can't even mess with that then. I need to learn how to trade. So now I'm taking my time. I'm not going to jump in. So I was one of those 90 to 95% that jumped in because of an Autobot scenario. That's still considered trading. I lost because I believed the Autobot was working, because it was. Go to sleep, wake up, $300, $800, $1,300 profits. You're thinking, this is great. Yeah, right. Okay, there's always a catch. And the catch came. So just letting you know, this is why trading's not going anywhere. No corporation, no rich guy is going to give up stocks, because as soon as they give up their stocks, guess what? That wealth is gone. See, that's what people don't realize. If they don't have stocks, what do they have? Then that means they're just like you and me. So in order for them to make more money, their business has to be efficient. And if their business is not efficient, I'll give a perfect example. Like Tesla wasn't even profitable for like 20 years almost. But they got taxpayer money. They got subsidies. You don't have that luxury. Right? So just think about all that. So there's one thing that you can do. So the Coinbase, I gave you that. And then the other last thing is, look, Bankus. Because Bankus is a crypto Visa debit card. I'm happy about that, because you can download your crypto to the Visa debit card, which is also outside of America. So there's a link right here in the chat room. If you watch this on replay, make sure you swipe the comment section, the first comment section. You'll start seeing 3 dots if you're on mobile. And if you're on laptop, I still believe, or computer, I still believe it says if you want to see live chat. So you're going to have to open it up. All right. Just keep that in mind. So hopefully that helps you. The Bankus Visa debit card. Yes, some people have it. It's already out. I just ordered mine a few days ago, the 13th, I believe it was, or 14th. And they have a digital card. And I don't really know what a digital card is. I asked the guys, I said, is that a virtual card? I'm like, because that's already out now. You don't have to make it seem like it's a digital card, because what's a digital card? But no response. But tomorrow, every Tuesday and Thursday, there is a Zoom call at 2 p.m. Eastern and 8 p.m. Eastern for Bankus. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that also down here in the chat room, so you guys will have a link to the Zoom call. All right. And the password is Eagle 1 to the Zoom call, just so everybody gets it. But let me find it first of all. Let me get what I want here. Nope, that's not what I want. Because they just had the grand opening, the official grand opening. So that was great. Here we go. Again, sign up and tell your friends. There is a money-making opportunity too if you refer other people. All right. And actually you can refer other people. You should tell your family, you should tell your friends. The metal card is $75 plus $10 shipping. The plastic card, the metal card does not have tap feature. It's just a metal card. The plastic card has the tap feature. That is $35 plus $10 shipping. It usually comes in 2 to 3 weeks in America. All right. People have already have them. They've already been using them. They've already been at the stores, the grocery store, the ATM machine. You cannot use it at a bank to get a cash advance. And I love this feature. No names on the card. Just saying. No name. So the reason you can't get a cash advance is because it's trackable at your bank. If you wipe, they need a name. They need your ID because they need that SARS report sometimes, not all the times, but they report, right? So no name, so you can't do cash advances at the bank. Simple. All right. I like that. I like that personally. All right, here we go. Let's go. We have Mr. Worldwide 2 here, ladies and gentlemen. He's in the house. Another investor, another real estate investor, a businessman. He's here. Retiree, Mr. Worldwide. Clip his icon. Go to his channel. Show some love, ladies and gentlemen. He brings his tagline this evening. And welcome to the SSN Nation Wealthy Wednesday Night Live Stream. The tagline, hello all. Let's do this. That's what we do here, ladies and gentlemen. Financial literacy and understanding. You need that right now. The way things are going, you may say things are going to get better, but if you have any way of telling me how things are going to get better under the present scenario, and we still have 3 years under this, whatever this Project 2025 thing is, I suggest you read the book. Because once you read Project 2025, now you understand where this is going, and then you start understanding who's going to be left behind and who's going to be targets. All right, I'm a target. Just put it that way, all right? So again, post-retirement travel says, keep investing, team. Be the shark. Another shark frenzy today. Market will come back with a vengeance. He is absolutely correct. Don't forget, the Federal Reserve is still playing ball. They're out here buying up debt. They're out here printing money. The money printers are on. They're out here giving the tax breaks to the wealthy. They're out here making sure that the wealthy can buy their own shares of stock. They've already committed to buying their shares of stock, which means the prices will go back up. They're just trying to get you guys with loose hands out the way. They're just going, well, we don't really care if there's market fluctuation right now. They'll just get everybody who doesn't believe in it. They'll just sell us at their lower price. That's all they're doing. This is not rocket science. You have to understand, when you are the mark, you have to start thinking like, wait a minute, why does the stock market go down all of a sudden? What's happening? The Federal Reserve's buying up shares of assets and securities. They're out here, the Amazons of the world and the Nvidias and the Apples and the Microsofts and the Teslas are buying back their own shares of stock. Why is the stock prices going down like this? Well, because when those guys that I just mentioned, shares go down, that's right, the top 10% of the stocks are wagging the stock market. If they go down, the stock market goes down, because the 80 to 90% of stocks aren't winning like the top. So they're wagging this whole thing. So if they don't buy any shares for a month, their share price kind of fluctuates down, or there'll be a day or two where there's drops, or 3 or 5. They're just getting out the weak hands. That's it. These guys aren't going anywhere, because if their stock price actually goes down, they're done. Their borrowing power goes away. People don't want to buy their shares of stock. And there's no way you get to come back after you say, well, we'll just let it go down to $10. Nobody's going to buy it. So they need fluctuations so they can buy at a lower price. So then when it does kick back up, just like post-retirement travel said, market will come back with the vengeance. Meanwhile, I think this is a good time to go over something that I haven't done before. But post-retirement travel, thank you so much for being a member of the channel. We are now open for joining, ladies and gentlemen. So I thank you so much. I appreciate it greatly. Now, this is a good time to talk about something. Let me give you guys a perfect example why this is major and why you need to be in the stock market, trading it and coming up with the plan. Like post-retirement travel does the wheel strategy for option income trading, which I know nothing about. But again, you have to learn. If you want to be great at something, you have to learn. All right. Now, I've talked about this before, so some of you who watch will say, okay, I know what he's going to talk about. Let me give you guys a perfect example. Let's just use a simple scenario. I have $100 share of stock. Let's say today it was a bad day. It went down $10. Now it's $90 a share. People are freaking out. 10% gone. So now you decide, oh man, I'm thinking about it. I'm a little scared. I don't really want to lose this money. It goes down to 85. That's 15%. Now you're like, man, that was a bad hit. But check this out. Now you have $100 worth. You're down to 85. You lost 15%. Well, guess what? If the stock goes back up 15%, guess what? You're not back to 100. That's the problem. So even if the next day you hear on the news, the stock went up 15%, well, $85 times 15% is $12. So you actually now have $97.75. You're not even back to even yet. Hopefully you understand, because if you start thinking in thousands, terms of thousands, you now see a problem because you sat on the sideline and did not buy any more shares when it was $85. So now let's do this. It went down to $85 and you said, I'm going to buy another $100. Now you spent $185, right? But now, because you spent $185, your dollar cost average is $92.50. So now, when it went back up 15%, you are now back in the profit because the dollar is now at $97.50 as the stock price. So now you are at profit of $5. So now do you see why post-retirement travel, EV Place, Brian P., and other investors will anxiously buy when there's a dip, and especially when there's huge dips, because your dollar cost average could potentially be reduced, or you're just accumulating more shares at that reduced price because your dollar cost average may be below that. But what I'm trying to tell you is you're gaining more shares at a lower price, especially when you have big drops, is a huge advantage. And it depends. Is it going to be the advantage for the wealthy? Yes, it is, because they have the most money. So they're sitting there laughing all the way to the bank. They're just like, well, I don't even have to buy it for $100 no more. Look, it's 85. In fact, you know what? We could actually force some other things. Who's got some margin calls on this stuff? Who's shorting this right now? Do we know anybody that's shorting this stuff right now? We need this price to go down. We need margin calls. They got all kind of tricks in the book, ladies and gentlemen. And so now it went to 85, went back up to 90. Now it could drop all the way down to 83. Are you going to be ready? That's the $1,000,000 question. You got to be diligent. You just can't go set it and forget it. In this economy, this is the best one ever when it's so much volatility, because you don't know what this government's going to do. You don't know what's going to happen. All we know is there's going to be chaos. Chaos is good for people who want to make investments for the long term, because when there's stability and they start rising again, if they're rising in chaos, imagine what would happen if there was stability. Let's get real. So now you understand why you have to get in. Hopefully. All right. Hopefully I explained it. Once again, EV Place, by the way, is also a member of the channel. I got to show some love because he has a speaker business. And if you want renewable energy and run your speaker on renewable power, when you're driving your car, it renews the power, it charges up your battery packs, and doesn't drain your battery in the car. And guess what? How about a couple of hours that you can run your music and not have to worry about an inverter, don't have to worry about your battery, don't have to worry about nothing. Custom in the back of your car. So, by the way, go check him out. He sells it on eBay. So, I'm just going to give you the eBay link. You decide, you serious car audio aficionados. Again, for the price he's charging, it's worth it. That's all I can tell you. And it's clean. So there's sound through wires, there's sound through bad speaker connections, there's sound vibrations through bad speakers. All of it adds up. But when you have an expert, comes out crispy and clear, and just think you didn't have to pay tens of thousands of dollars. Go check him out, ladies and gentlemen. Right there. He's a member of the channel, and we love him. All right. He's out here trying to help people. All right. Oh, by the way, energy bills are going to cost more. Okay. Notice the first part of this: keep investing, team, be the shark. You got to be the shark, ladies and gentlemen. You can't go run and hide. You need disposable income, and you need to invest. That's it. You got to be with the big boys, the top 10%. You got to be with them. Crazy. Exactly. And there's the Candlestick Bible. Get that. This is major. I can't even believe what I'm reading right now. If I would have known about this before, they're giving you illustrations, they're giving you examples, visual, and then you can go on your demo account via CoinEx. If you get CoinEx, remember the link's down below in the description box. And you will see the patterns and you start looking like, oh my God, let me go check out what they're talking about. Let me go to the daily, the hourly, mark my stuff up. Maybe I'll use the Fibonacci, maybe I won't. But whatever makes you feel comfortable so you can optimize your trading. You want to win the most amount of times. If you trade, enter a trade and win, and you can do that at a high rate, 6, 7, 8, 9, maybe just twice a day, once a day is good. Because it depends on your bank rolls and you got to do money management. But again, once you learn, it starts being very powerful because you increase your odds of being successful. That's the only thing you can do in life. Gain knowledge, get better, and that's how you can get a little bit better, ladies and gentlemen. All right. So financial literacy is in the house tonight, ladies and gentlemen. It's Financial Armageddon America. It's going down. And so you thought I was cooking at the beginning. Check this out. I'm going to give you guys something because this is something. See, when I went to college, right, I did economics. All right. Because I was going to be the baddest business dude on the planet. So I had to do economics. And they were like, Eric, why are you doing? I'm a basketball player. Let's get real. Okay. Okay. I play. People know me. They're like, like they always go, the sports guys. What do they know? The dumb jock guys and all this stuff, right? They couldn't believe I'm in economics class. You're damn right. I'm in accounting class. They're like, wait, you're in accounting too. Wait a minute. You don't have to be in accounting nor accounting too. I said, you're damn right, but I'm a business guy. So I need to understand accounting. They're like, wait, okay. You're in economics one, two. You're damn right. I need to understand what makes this stuff happen. That's why I'm adamant about it, because it's not rocket science what's going to happen. So all this stuff, when I'm playing basketball, my coaches would be like, Eric, why are you taking these classes? I'm like, because I'm going to graduate and I'm going to be one badass business dude. And they're just like, yeah, right. Okay. So all this stuff you study, and over time you continue to study. That's why I'm not afraid of the IRS, right? Because the IRS says, Eric, we're going to audit you. I'm like, okay, when? They're like, well, we can have an appointment like, whenever you can get your stuff together, maybe 6 months from now or whenever you're good. And then when I said, how about tomorrow? They were like, what? Excuse me? What do you mean? We don't have, you don't need to come in tomorrow to talk to us. And I said, well, I'll be in tomorrow. I have my paperwork. They're like, what? Yeah, I'll be down tomorrow. Because their offices in Sacramento is the main, the state capital. So the IRS offices are there. So and they were less than 5 minutes from my house. So I said, I'm coming down. They were all in shock. And I showed up, and the auditor, when I got upstairs, she's like, this is a first. Nobody's ever showed up when we told them that there's going to be an audit, and actually was like, come down here, and was eager. I said, I know, because I leave poison pills in all of my tax filings. And she's like, what? I said, yeah, because once you audit me, that now means I can redo some stuff and you're going to have to pay me money. And she's like, yeah, right, right, right. No, I don't think so. I said, I think so. And of course, when they found out they had to give me like 7 G's, all of a sudden, well, wait, we don't cut checks like that. In fact, we can give you like 5 G's. I'm like, wait, you guys are the ones that audited me. Where's my money? I know how you guys operate. I said, I'm always ready. They're like, oh my God. Yeah, I don't think we want to mess with this guy no more. We'll talk to him kindly. Yeah, so when you start getting your stuff, but again, knowledge is more than you need to make sure that you can try to be successful. There's no guarantee because there's so many forces, right? So many different forces out here. Now, let's get to the bottom line because there's more coming. Here's MDA 0214. Study and do not guarantee you'll be profitable right away. Exactly. It's never going to be that. Again, most beginners lose money. That's right. 90 to 95% lose money if but we're talking about when you initially start, because most people jump in without getting the necessary. They're watching other people, listening to people say, well, you see this, you see that, you see this, but that you see this and see that may not work for you. And it damn sure has changed. And like MDA 0214 says, and we'll get into it in a minute, welcome to the SSN Nation Wealthy Wednesday night live stream. Another investor, trader, market man is here. And I lost money for 2 years. I know some people have lost money for 6, 5, 7. Can you believe it? In fact, this is one of the funniest things. My friends who have been trading for I swear it must be 10 years, who used to always, every now and then, hey, why don't you get into trading? I'm like, nah. They're sitting there going how good they're doing at trading. The funny part is I'm listening to people tell stories like, oh man, I won I use win because that's the way I look at it. But I traded and I got $12,000 today from my trades. And then it'll be like 2, 3 days later, and they'll be talking like, oh man, I lost like $6,000 trading today. And I'm like, but that's why I never really paid attention also, because my friends were trading, but they are still trading to this day with stories like this. So I was like, man, these guys are tripping. How you going to win? Well, again, you're successful profit wise 12,000. Then you turn around and say you lost 6. Then you turn around and say you lost another 8. Then you say, oh yeah, I won 6. I'm like, that's too much fluctuation for me. I'm like, I don't know what's happening, but that's the thing. I lost money for 2 years. It's not black and white. You damn right it's not. You can study for years. Being live is different. Again, we all know live is different because you're playing with real money. It's not play money when it's live. But I'm going to tell you something. The charts, okay, the chart is I'm going to give it my way of looking at it. The charts, again, give you a trend, right? It gives you ideas. You have to form your own because everybody trades differently. Not everybody can trade the same. Everybody can read the same candlestick Bible, but still use different tools to make them successful. And when it comes to money, it's no different than a casino. It's easy to talk a good game, but when you have $500 of profit in front of you, $1,000, $2,000, are you getting up, walking away? Or are you sitting there going, oh, no biggie. I got 5 G's in my hand. I won, I only started with $200. And then you go, well, I'll just see if I can win some more. No biggie. Now you're down to 4,500. You're like, yeah, okay. So I won all this. Now you're down to 3,500. Next thing you know, want some drinks, sir? You want something to eat, sir? We'll get you a free show. We'll give you dinner. How about that? Changes dealers, changes people, changes whoever, changes cars, changes decks, changes balls, changes whatever. Next thing you know, you're still feeling good. I still got 3,500. No big deal. That is what people do with trading. I've been watching people. They'll be winning, as I call it, successful in their trade, and they won't take the profit because they're trying to go more, get more. And then it reverses on them. And then they lose. Then they'd still go back in and say, oh, yeah, I can win it back. Just like a gambler. That's what I've seen from people that does trading. So that is the problem with live because it's real money. People get a little emotional. They don't look at it like, again, I have a different advantage than most people because when you play, I suggest this. Maybe I should suggest this. You should play poker with real money, then maybe also start trading because once you do that, and I'm not talking about limit hold'em, I'm talking about no limit. Because once you have to make a decision on is this guy bluffing me or does this guy have a better hand than me? When you have to make determinations like this to call thousands of dollars, that changes your whole way of looking at how when you win because you have to determine if what you're reading, like in chart reading, this in poker, you're reading the person the way they've been playing, right? The same rules apply. How's he been playing? What's the market doing? Is it an upward trend, downward trend? What's happening? The same rules apply. I have to take information that I've seen previously and apply it on this hand, which means what I saw previously may not occur. But I have to apply it and I have to figure out if I just, I have two kings in my hand. King comes on the board. King, I'll give you examples. King 8-2. Now I have trip kings. I bet a guy re-raises me. Now in this case, I have trip kings. I'm thinking, okay, the guy has maybe he has a king, maybe he has aces at this point because there's no general reason why a guy would re-raise me with nothing other than ace king, ace ace, king 10, king jack, king whatever, right? That would leave us, even if he had trip twos or trip eights, we're good. So now I'm thinking, what the hell's this guy got? Does he have aces? Because if he has aces, that's even better, right? Because I know we're going all in because the next move, no matter what card comes out, unless it's an ace, now I got to kind of think like, wait a minute, that's the only kind of like guy that might re-raise me. But nonetheless, I have to make decisions at that point, risking my money on what I believe he has. And if no ace comes out, and then I bet he re-raises me again, we're all in at that point. There's no turning back. There's like, I don't believe whatever the hell you got. I don't really care. It's definitely, I believe I'm winning. You probably believe you're winning, but I'm going in. He calls. Done. Whatever happens, happens. But the point I'm trying to make is whatever decision you make, you pretty much rock with it. You can't turn around and be scared. And that's what happens. People are going to be scared because they don't play no limit hold'em, making decisions based on your money. Every decision you make is based on your money. You can lose your whole bankroll. Well, not bankroll because you got to do money management. But nonetheless, you can study for years. Being live is different. Yes, that is true. But you should study is the point. Nobody should be doing this just off the street who doesn't know anything about it. That's always the point. In fact, in any business, anything you ever do, you do not just come off the street and be like, I know everything, because you don't. That's not how it works. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's go. We got some viewers. We got some guys over here playing. All right, here we go. Completely wrong. Most don't lose because they just jump in. Everyone study before they try. It could be different reasons. Mine was over trading and holding too long. Well, again, see, for me, what you're saying is exactly, you go, I'm over trading and holding too long. But again, how? I don't see, my mind works differently than yours. Your mind works differently than 10 or 100,000 other people. You had no reason. And you're sitting there going, now I know what happened. But that's the whole point. You're sitting there going, well, I, you know what happened now. That's the whole point. Because you decided, I'm just going to lose and rock with the losing. I'm going to learn by losing. Fine. But I'm not, I'm trying to minimize because we don't want anybody losing for years or months. So I suggest slow roll it, learn as much as you can. So then when you recognize things, you try to limit your losses and your skill. Your skill is limited when you first start anything. That's the problem. So no matter what you start, if I said I'm going to be a real estate investor, right? That would be seemingly straightforward. Okay, you go buy some property, right? Well, guess what happens? Because somebody didn't do it before, they bought some property, but they didn't know that they should have brought somebody over there that would have told them what's wrong with the property before buying it. So they said, oh, it's only going to cost me $15,000 to fix it up. I'm basing it on because I watch HGTV. Then they find out, oh, hey, man, there's dry rot on the boards down below. Your roof is jacked up. Oh, no, I'm sorry. This is going to cost you $60,000, $75,000. But wait, I see this stuff on TV. They make it seem so easy. Oh, what do you mean? Now I can't make a profit now because now that's going to make sure that I'm going to be overvalued. The house is not going to be worth what I'm going to pay. So I can't finish this. But I mean, no matter what you do in any money, any business, you always have to study. You just can't jump in. That's my, I'll say that's my policy. If you guys want to jump in, that's yours. I don't recommend. I don't recommend. Yes, it's very easy to look at charts and see a trend, especially after the fact. Day trading is completely different, especially those smaller time. Oh, that's another thing. Trading on those smaller time frames, yeah, that's very treacherous. Very treacherous. That's all I can say from what I'm looking at. I'm just like, holy smokes. Because when we were doing the Autobot, they told us to put on the 1 minute time frame. And so that's where I used to always see all this stuff moving all over the place. Then when you zoom out and you take, like, let's say 1 hour, it doesn't move as fast. You don't see it doing all the change directions. I mean, it gets kind of, and trying to do that is kind of wild. And if anybody can do it, um, all I can say is good luck and best of luck because that is very hard to do because you have to make decisions in a shorter time frame. So when he's saying shorter, smaller time frames, he's talking about like the 1 minute, even people doing 2 minute, the 5 minute. Um, Treacherous, in my opinion, after I've been studying more and more because I was initially keeping everything at 5 minute, and then I started keep reading, and I was like, wait a minute, let me go check out what happens when I go out 1 hour, 4 hour. Well, see, since it moves smaller, now you don't panic as much potentially and definitely won't panic as much because even today it was going up towards the weekly high and or the 4 hour. It was up near everything. It was at the high for gold USD, XAU USD. So the thing is, it was like you could see in the short time frame, it was moving way different than 1 hour. 1 hour, it's like a straight drop earlier today, right? But on the 1 minute or 5 minute, I didn't check the 15 or the 30 or anything like that. But when I checked those, it was going like this. But on the hour, it's going like this, straight down. The candlesticks, one candlestick was going straight down earlier today. Meanwhile, in the shorter time frames, it's going up, down, but it's a trend down, but it would go back up. So people would have could potentially lose money or win a little bit there. But the point is, if the 1 hour, if somebody was trending on the 1 hour today, they were just sitting back waiting and having a nice little just drop down, chilling, not even. But again, it's your own methods. Everybody has a different method because I've seen people successful using. Oh, let me talk. I saw some guys. I go to my friend's house. They go, "Oh, do you know anything about pocket options?" I was like, "Pocket options? What's that?" I see people trading on 15 seconds. 30 seconds, 160 seconds candles, and you pay. So whatever I don't really know how it works. All I know is it's almost like you're betting. It's like put in whatever, $50, you get back X amount of dollars. But at the end of the 15 seconds, whatever you were doing, a buy or a sell, if it doesn't happen in your favor, they keep the money. And if it does happen in your favor, you win. Almost like you're playing gambling, really. Um, and then I go on YouTube and I see people doing this pocket option thing, 30 seconds, 10, 60 seconds. I'm like, what the heck is this? And I'm just like, this is out of control. There's so much stuff going on with trading. I can't even say. But I will say there are a few poker players who have been very successful. Yeah, it would make sense to me because you have to bet according to how you feel. So the money is, you learn early in poker that the money can't mean anything to you because you have to read the person. Because I should preface this: it has to be no limit. If you play no limit, then your reads mean you could be all in, or you fold after putting a huge amount of money in the pot because you realize you're beat. But you could be you, you could have already put in like 2 grand or 2,500, right? And then you realize, oh man, this dude he went all in. Do I really have him beat? I might have to lay this down. So sometimes you have to lay it down. And so therefore you start being like, if you want to be successful, you can't be in large pots and lay down after you put out a large amount of money because it's money management. So it's easy that a poker player should be able to trade. I don't know about successfully, but at least their money doesn't dictate what they're going to do because they've already in with the money management. They're already in with, if I lose today, that's not the end all be all because I'm not using all of my bankroll. So therefore I can go all in. And so some people would call that a stop loss, right? Which again, I don't agree with. I the way I'm seeing these candlesticks doing this, like we talked about on Friday, these sweeps, these long swicks that come down and sweep stuff out. It's like, or goes back against you and sweeps back, whether you're doing a buy sell and it's taking your stop loss out. I'm like, good God, it's like a thing. And I've been seeing more and more, it's, at least on the XAU USD chart, I'm seeing huge wicks. And I'm like, this is incredible right now. But that's also a good thing if you know trading, that gives you an advantage because you know it just swept all these guys gone. And if you know how to read the chart, you're like, well, there's nobody left down there or up there. So that means it can move up with reckless abandon or move down with reckless abandon. It gives you a little, you can decipher a little more once you start studying. You've definitely been studying. It's why I use the 1 hour and the 1 minute is way too choppy for me. Yeah, you're trading against computers. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Oh, yeah, you're right. There are 1 minutes. Well, I was talking about the pocket options, but yeah, there's the 1 minute, the 2 minute, the 5 minute, and like I said, the pocket options is 30 seconds, 15 seconds, 60 seconds. And in fact, I think my friend was showing me that they could actually, wherever this thing was, they could actually put in how many seconds they wanted. So they could have made it like 45 seconds. And I was like, this is incredible. Yeah, you can go Google pocket options. You'll see people doing it. I was like, this is too much for me. And like you said, MDA, it was so choppy that you can see the candlestick, that the pattern. And then all of a sudden it reverses because we're on a 1 minute. And a lot of people were told to use a 1 minute, 2 minute, 5 minute candles. And I would say, I would not advise. And then MDA has been trading longer than me. And he's saying it right now too. He's saying it the 1 hour. That's why he uses the 1 hour. Again, I'm almost getting ready to start clearing towards that 1 hour myself because even the 5 minute is still too choppy. Like today, I was on the 5 minute studying. The 1 hour, like I said, was going down, but the 5 minute was going like 3 candlesticks down. Then it would go 5 candlesticks up, greens. and then it go one down, two up, four down, five up, but it still would ultimately be trending down. But on that chart, it's doing this like stuff like this. But on the 1 hour, it's like a red line coming down. It's crazy, crazy stuff. So I'm leaning towards, if I'm gonna, once I start doing this, towards the same thing, going like to the 1 hour, because it's just too, it's just way too. I mean, the only way these shorter time frames make sense is when there's a serious institutional situation where all of a sudden they're selling or buying, and there's big candlesticks, and then there's a trend, or there's news that came out and there's a trend, right? But even then, it starts getting crazy otherwise. Like today, I called it consolidation day or something, but then it was on the 1 hour going straight down on XAU USD. I should break it up. Oh, in fact, I have it. Hold on. Yeah, it was crazy. Let me see, what time was it today? Uh, yeah, let me see if I can do this. Well, I won't put it on screen, but it looks like it was 43. No, that wasn't the one. Maybe it was 43.16. Nope, we're up to 43.23, and it went all the way down to 42.94 on the 1 hour. That, oh, I wish I could, oh man, I wish I could see how much that would be. But that's a long way, ladies and gentlemen. Uh, that's pips galore. 43.23. Oh, wait, yeah, 23 down to 42.94. That is a long way down. Money was made. Lots of it. Crazy stuff. You could have did damage. And I was actually doing some of that trades today while it was going on, because I was going back and forth messing around, because I'm trying to figure out what's good for me. Usually people who trade on those small time frames are scalpers. It's some who mastered it, but to me, that's like gambling. It's definitely like gambling. It's definitely. So, Eric, when do you think you'll be ready for Super Bowl? Start with the small amount. It won't hurt that much if you get jammed up. Agree. Overcoming the psychological part is the challenge. Yep. Um, Super Bowl. Where is the Super Bowl this year? You guys know I used to go to the Super Bowl. We have some videos, and I can't find them. I transported them off my laptop, put them onto something, and now I can't find the promo videos. Crazy. So I only have one promo video. Oh, speaking of poker, the only promo video I have that I can't find the other ones. Here goes one right now. Let's do it. Come on. All right, ladies and gentlemen, there you go. Speaking of poker, yeah, that's back in the fun days. Used to play with all that. Was at a celebrity tournament at a Playboy Mansion. So yes, that one. Hugh Hefner, Playmates, and all that. They came out a couple. No, there was Playmates there. I forgot. They came, and it's a blast. It's all love. The place is bigger than it looks. It's pretty cool. So Hef was cool. He came out during the event, talked a little bit. That's when they were filming The Girls Next Door. That's how long ago it was. And so Kendra, And I don't really know, because the wife was talking to him. I don't remember the name of the girls. I know Kendra and I know Holly, and I don't know. I know Kendra was there because I saw her, and Hugh was next to her. The wife was talking with Kendra, and the other girl was there, and I think it was Holly. But one of these days, I'll have the wife come on, and she'll tell you who it was. Mister Compensations in the house. Another familiar member. Welcome to the SSN Nation Wealthy Wednesday night live stream. I know you heard about that trading. I know that's why you came, man. SSN fam, we know tomorrow Larry's in the house. Another investor's here. Welcome to the SSN Nation Wealthy Wednesday night live stream. And once again, hello all is the tagline. So very happy to see you once again. Hopefully everybody's doing well, and happy holidays, everyone. And let me see, when is the 25th? All right, because you guys know that's a Thursday. All right, so we're going to have a New Year's Eve is Wednesday. So we'll see how that goes. So next Wednesday, I think we'll still be here. I think I'm still going to be doing a live stream. You guys know how it goes, where I'm going to have the Santa hat on. So you know we're going to have something to do on Christmas Eve. So hopefully I'll see you guys there. If you're not doing anything, tune in. All right. So we're still going to rock and roll. Let me see when the first is too. The 31st. Oh, that's a Wednesday night, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. That's going to be interesting. That's going to be interesting. That might be live out somewhere. That's right. Maybe. We'll see. All right, Eric, professional photos of your Punta Cana apartment is critical. My brother is doing very good with his new apartment there. He has rented 21 days this month and already has 13 days booked in January. Yes. December, January, February, March is prime time. So he should be doing good. This is the time to go get it. This is the time. Oh, and I'm expecting, I'm expecting 950,000 people on the island of the Dominican Republic for this month of December. That's what I'm expecting. So that's going to give them, if that's the number, actually, I think it's going to be 1 million. I'm just going to round up to 1 million. If that's going to be the number, that means they're going to have 8.9, I believe. Is that going to be right? I can't remember. But that'll give them 8.9. So that'll be 8.2 3 years ago. Or, 3 years ago. 8.7 last year. And 8.9 this year. So 2 years ago, 8.2. So they've stayed in the 8 millions. We needed 1 million plus each one of those years. So we're behind. This year should have been 9.5 to 10. Next year needs to be 10.5 to 11 in order to get back on track. Okay. This does not surprise me. The only thing you're going to have to tell me is, which you have not yet, how much is he renting his unit for to get this high? Well, that's a nice occupancy rate, right? Isn't that 70%? At Rock, of all places. That's a high number. People are trying to sell their places out there. That's a high number. So that's going to be cool. Everyone always speaks on credit and how good it is. I never see anyone speaking on how some get their loans called even when their payments are up to date. No, MDA 0214. No, man, you haven't, I don't know, you haven't been around. I've told people before about this. We talked about this several occasions. Again, this is why this goes along with your bank stealing money, bank stealing brokerage accounts, bank taking money out of your checking, savings, CDs, banks taking stuff. They also will call. This is what happened basically in 2008. I've talked about this several times. Banks will call. This happened to me, by the way. They did. Oh, then mine is different. Mine is totally different. I did not believe this happened. I get a call or letter from the mortgage company. They say, oh, I can't even remember what it was now. Hold on a second. Hold on. It was, it was something about, it was during the loan crises. So I was telling them, I said, you know what? Because it's undervalued. The loan's overvalued, right? So they're supposed to do a loan modification, and they're gonna chop off something or do something to make sure everything's fine, right? So that's what I'm thinking. All of a sudden, I got a call, and they go, "We're gonna do a short sale on your house." I said, "What are you talking about right now? You can't. No, hell no. I'm not doing a short sale. If anything, I'll try to sell it. I'm not doing a short sale. What are you talking about right now?" I was stunned when they actually said, yeah, here's money. Instead of redoing your loan, we're going to short sell it at a lower price than what we were going to do your loan modification for. And I'm like, what are you talking? I should be able to buy it then. They said, nah, we're going to sell it to somebody else. I go, what are you talking about right now? That's when I learned that banks could do whatever they want in 2008, 7, 9. I already knew the government could do whatever they want. I didn't realize banks were doing, or mortgage companies were doing other shady stuff. So now it goes through all this shenanigans. The guys that bought the loan, that got the short sale, they showed up at the house when we're moving the last of the stuff out. I asked the guys, I go, how did you how did you find the house for a short sale since it wasn't even on the market? They're like, oh, the guy was candid. He said, oh, we know somebody at the bank, and they said, hey, if we want to live in California for a couple of years, we can buy this house over here at this short sale price. I was like, what do you say? I said, is this for real right now? I said, do you I said, do you not understand what they did? They were doing my modification because the house is overpriced. And so they were supposed to do a remod. Then they told me, oh, we're gonna sell it in a short sale, but you can't buy it. Or we won't even make your modification down at the sale price. I was like, is this and by the way, if you have a short sale, just so everybody knows, the IRS, if they write you a form, guess what? The difference you might be taxed on. Well, there's no might. You will be taxed on. So, because I knew this, I had to have these guys, the mortgage company. I said, no, man, you're going to have to give me, I can't remember what it was, but it was a 1099 form that makes sure that I don't have to pay the taxes to the government because it's almost like a gift. So, in other words, the difference was like maybe 30 grand. I was going to be taxed on the 30 grand because they forgave that amount. I said, oh, hell no. It's not happening. I don't know what leverage I used. I can't really remember, but all I remember, I was stunned. And by the way, that time frame, they did that to me, but you know what they did to my other friends is what MDA was talking about. The bank called up and said, your loan is due, sir, knowing full well most people don't have money to pay the full amount. And that's what they did to some of my friends. They called up and said, your loan is due in full. So they would default. So then by rights, they can take the house. Now, this is in Cali where they have strict laws. There's even other situations. You guys don't know where you live. You don't know what America does. There's other situations where the bank in Cali around the United States forged foreclosure documents and took people's homes so it could be in their inventory to resell. The paper, remember the paper? Sell the paper to somebody else. Oh, yeah. So don't even let me get started, MDA0214. We talked about that too before, but he's right. I haven't talked about it in a while. So I'm glad you brought it up. You guys, that's why I always say you don't know where you live, only because it doesn't happen to like 30 million people. It happens to like 2 million or 1 million. So, and again, social media didn't exist before 2010. So all this shenanigans or 2011 or whatever it was, right, where it was out there, 2013, whatever, before that time, they were doing all this crazy stuff. And these guys don't even go to jail. Remember Steve Mnuchin? That was a Treasury Secretary, first Trump term. You know he was in Southern California. How about this sick stuff? He's in Southern California and he's looking at everybody that's like elderly and retired that has a mortgage. How sick is that? Where he says, well, we're just going to take all theirs, not take, but we're going to make it difficult for them to make payments and we're going to get all that property from the elderly. That's how sick. I can't even remember the story. I mean, that's how sick this was. And this guy ends up being Treasury Secretary. So you can easily see why I'm like, F him. And now he takes advantage because of his position to be a wealthy, rich guy, but he actually owned a bank in SoCal. MDA, you didn't hit a sore spot, man. There's so many stories that people don't even know about that America does. And that guy was in our government at a high level, partnered, by the way, which everybody's boogeyman, Soros, that people talk about. Soros, I believe, was a part owner of the bank. Mnuchin, I think there was 3 partners. Let me go. I mean, there's all kind of stuff regarding what's happening. Now they're wealthy, right? They're wealthy. Oh, by the way, that cookie dough company, popular edible brand, brand issues, recall nationwide. What's it called? They don't even say the name. This is interesting. Popular an edible chocolate cookie dough treat sold in 15 states has been recalled by the manufacturer. Who's the manufacturer? Doughy chocolate chip cookie dough recalled for classified as a class 1 recall, affected 12-ounce product shipped to 15 states. Yeah, that guy's in government along with other people. I can't remember their other partner. The other partner is also a rich, wealthy guy. They literally stole elderly people's homes. Not in jail. Don't even let me get on this, man. This is so sick. So sick. So sick. Um, I'm trying to think of uh, One West Bank. That was it. 2009 to 2015. Reverse mortgages for elderly homeowners. Remember those ads? Reverse mortgages became known for exceptionally high rate of foreclosures because they're elderly. When you do the reverse mortgage, they know they can't handle it, and that means they get to keep the stuff. And that's what they were doing. Get this: 36,000 home loans, ladies and gentlemen. That's right. And he foreclosed on a 90-year-old woman over a 27-cent payment error. Robo signing, falsifying key documents without proper review, still not in jail. He got an $89 million settlement. And by the way, Indy Mac at the time became One West. So you see these rich dudes, you understand how this all goes. This is Mnuchin, who ended up being the Treasury Secretary, just like that Senator Scott, who had a $1 billion Medicaid fraud, and somehow he becomes governor and now a senator in the state of Florida and not arrested. So again, this is why you have to understand where you live, ladies and gentlemen. All right. But let me know post-retirement travel. I want to hear how much he's charging. Is he charging $65, $75 a night? Because I mean, there's a lot of places out there. That's what I want to know. Oh man. Yeah. Oh, by the way, MDA0214. What you're talking about right here, I should preface this also by saying, after everything I said, I should say this. I think that's coming back again because that same scenario was never put to bed. And I think that, and you know what else? This happened with, oh God, I can't remember the guy's name. He's a well-known person. Oh, anyhow, they do this. They do this because remember, the banks need money. They'll take your stuff, and there ain't a damn thing you can do about it except you can bitch, whine, file a lawsuit. But good luck. How are you looking for Christmas and New Year's bookings? I had 24 through 28 December booked, and they canceled late today. I'm sure they had a booking this week. Last minute cancellations suck. Exactly. That's what I've been having. A lot of people been wanting 21st through 28. Obviously not available. 27th through the 3rd or 2nd, not available. I'm like, this is all within a month. You have to make these reservations a year, well, almost a year out. These are the only 2 weeks when kids are out of school and hot spots. So getting last minute calls. I don't have cancellations. I have last minute calls. And I don't have bookings in the Christmas time like I used to. So, but I've had plenty of people now wanting to do something. And since I'm in the timeshare space, I don't make reservations at all. I just generally people would call like 8 months in advance. So then there would be no problem. But trying to do something a week before, 2 weeks before, there's nothing available, especially where you want to go. Skiing, Lake Tahoe, not available. Come on now. I mean, it's just ridiculous. Um, so that's what I'm getting. I mean, I'm getting Hawaii like today. Today. Can I check in today? I'm like, are we? No, you can't check in today. Not available. That's how Dave Ramsey went bankrupt. Oh, yeah, that's right. Someone bought the company he had loans with. That is correct. And the new owner called his loans. That is correct. That's what happened with my short sale BS. A new mortgage company came in. That's why I can't remember their name. And then they changed the rules. They said, "Oh no, we're just going to short sell your property, but you can't buy it." What? But we'll give you like some odd monies to move out. I was like, "Cool, all right." That was kind of a give and take because basically I was still gonna. This is in the era where home prices were escalating so high, especially in Cali. So they were doing the home was valued less than the loan. So then they were willing to move the loan back. So basically, I was still going to have a 100% loan IOU with less years, but I still was going to have a loan valued at whatever it was, 300,000 or whatever it was. So to them, it didn't matter. That's why they were just like, well, F it. We'll just deal with our own people. Because that's literally what they did. They gave somebody a house at $30,000 to $40,000 less than what the house was worth by kicking me out, giving it to their friends, guaranteeing that they have a profit. because it's 30 or 40,000 less. And that's what they did. So when the people showed up, they're just like, oh no, man, we work with these people and they told us we got to live here for 2 years. Straight up. Because they didn't know why I was asking. Because they probably told them, oh yeah, they just moved out. We gave them some money to leave. So I was like, fine. But the point is, they did it. So I believe it. Ramsey, that was in the other one, the savings and loans crises. That was in the late 80s, early 90s, which people don't know about. That one, people don't even talk. Nobody even knows about the savings and loans, like it never happened. So, what happened in 2008 with the homes and 2006, 7, 8 happened in the late 80s. Again, I keep telling you, remember those tax cut, tax breaks? They always come back to haunt you. Reagan doing it in the 80s, Bush won. It always comes back to haunt you. Then in 2000, Bush did it. Always comes back to haunt you. This time, since Trump didn't have two administrations in a row to do the tax cuts, tax breaks twice, now it just got delayed because he's back in and they did the big, beautiful bill. So we're back on track because homes are overpriced already. People can't afford it because jobs are lost as usual. And so therefore, people aren't going to be buying them up, and our interest rates aren't going to be down to 2.5 or 3.5 anytime soon. So it's bad. So yeah, if I'm right, MDA, you know what? Let me go check. I'm pretty sure that's what it was, right? I remember because that's when like Dave Ramsey came out a little. He was a church dude um, back then. Um, Real estate under, I think it was savings and loans, or was it? Yeah, I think it was. Um, uh, Called his loans. What year? Let's see. I think it was late 80s, early 90s. Let's see. Yep, sure was. He did bankruptcy in 88. Yep. Days ran real estate loans in the late 1980s, leading to his bankruptcy. Yep. And the federal banking laws in 1986 and a downturn in the real, like I said, exactly. It was the late 80s and the savings and loan debacle happened. And that's when they started jacking people. Yep. Yep. That's right. That's exactly right. Yep. I remember. I was around. I was there. Yep. You're right, MDA. He's telling no lies. He's telling no lies. It actually, the same, and that's another thing. They didn't fix it from the late 80s. They didn't fix it in 2006, 7, 8, 9. It just got worse in the Great Recession because they didn't fix it in the 80s, the late 80s, early 90s. They just bailed out the savings and loans, some of them. They did the same thing that they did in 2008, 2009 to bail out the banks. That's what they did with the savings and loans banks in the late 80s, early 90s. Same thing. Didn't fix a damn thing then, and it's still not fixed. Rogue country. All right, enough. Financial Armageddon, ladies and gentlemen. This is how it happens when they can take your home, take your bank accounts, take your brokerage accounts, take your job, take your medical. What's left? All right, understand. And let's get to the last thing, and then I'm out of here. All right, let's get to the last thing. Media Warner demands Larry Ellison's personal guarantee and Paramount bid. Oh, I love that. I love that. I love that, man. This is what irritates me the most. The most richest people get so many benefits just by taking stuff or rearranging stuff or making lawsuits happen because they can afford it. They have a huge advantage over the system. And I love this. Kudos to whoever did a personal guarantee like there weren't. That's right, because They have paper money. It's fake. Okay, it ain't fake. It has a value, but imagine you have stocks that you go, oh, I'm a billionaire for nothing, and they get over on this, so they live in a different reality than the rest of us. They get over on this. They get preferred treatments of loans and being able to do stuff that we can only dream of, and personal guarantee ain't usually one of them. So I, I love this. I love this. They're treating him like an ordinary citizen, saying, "Oh no, no, hold on, man. That's right. You want to get this loan stuff handled. We need a personal guarantee over here. Personal. You can't use your Oracle business. You can't. No, sorry, man. Nah, you ain't using stocks, man. Nah, you're gonna have to put up houses. You're gonna have to put up something. Nah, man. Nah. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Oh, that's beautiful. That is so beautiful. Eric, for January, my brother is averaging 112 per night. Good. I'll be good with myself. I am definitely considering the management company he's using. Um, yeah. Well, go. Let's do the numbers. You know we numbers guys. So if we know he does 120 a night, we know he bought it for. I mean, 112 a night. Didn't he buy it for? I don't remember what he bought it for. Did he buy it for 130, 140, 120? I don't know. But we'll deal with this first. 21 times 112. 2352 times 0.97. Oh, wait, sorry, can't do that. I don't know where it is, but I'm still going to use it. That's 3% taken from Airbnb, but they may not be using it. But I'll take off 20%, which I don't know if he's 25% management, but we'll use 20%. So now we go times 0.8. So he's down to 1825. Then what we don't know is how much is HOAs. I can't even guess. I'll assume it's $75. I'll just say minus $75 a month HOAs. Booking. Okay, I'll take off another 100 just for the hell of it. Some other fees, whatever. Just take that off 100. All right, 1650. Oh, it's 120. All right, so I got to minus another 120K. There we go. Okay, so I got to take off 175 and what is that? 55 more. 45. Yeah, 45 more. All right, so it's 1605. Okay, if he's able to do this times 12, that's pretty good. 19,000. He's we got 25%. Okay. So I got to take off another 5%. Times 0.95. 18,000. Okay, so he has somewhere around okay, first of all, I don't think he's going to keep up to 70% throughout the whole year, but if he did, then his 18,298 divided by 120 is good. Well, kind of. 15.25%. But again, I don't know if he's going to be able to keep 70% on average throughout the year for next year. But we'll see. I mean, and it's Christmas time. And in fact, Christmas and January, the last 2 years, were the highest months of tourists, just so everybody understands, in Dominican Republic, was December and January. February, the last 2 years, flat. March last year, negative. Or no, it wasn't negative. It was 0.09. So flat. And then all the rest of the year was negative for hotels. It's just hotel occupancy. We don't know about Airbnbs. I'm referring to hotel occupancy was down Out of the first 11 months, 8 of the 11 months had occupancy rates in a negative. I don't think December will be negative because I think they're going to get 1 million tourists. So it should be a positive situation. So hopefully it doesn't carry over the rest of the year like this year. So the question was always, what happened when September, October, and November came? That was the $1 million question for Rock. All I know is people are trying to sell at Rock, but there's so many units and some more units coming. 120, and his apartment looks fantastic because he had a special designer. It looks awesome, ladies and gentlemen. And this is what you're going to have to do. Real estate, you got to get all the game plans. You got to make that passive income, ladies and gentlemen. That's how you got to do it. All right. He's paying 25% for management. Okay. Even if he does 50% occupancy average, he can clear between 500 to 700 per month if he keeps the same rate. Nothing wrong in that in my book. Well, in my book, let's see. I'll tell you. Let's just say he does 700 per month. If it's that low, that's a whole nother ballgame. Because here's the numbers. That's 8,400 a year. That's a whole different ballgame. That's not even. I'm going to round up. I'm going to do 9,000. You might like it. I don't really. That's 7.5% at after the 120,000 plus the furniture and all that stuff. So we're at 7.5, and I could, like I say, I don't mind rocking with JEPI, JEPQ, JP Morgan Fund and being like, give me my 7% or 8% or 10% or 11%. Because every year it's a risk. Because the way I look at it right now is because of all the extra hotel units and all the extra Airbnb coming on the market, I'm thinking there's going to be a downtrend if the tourist numbers don't go up like 1 million because you've added 12,000 homes, right? So you've added 12,000 to 15,000 units with hotels and short-term rentals. So now next year you got 12,000 more on the market, and they're doing another 12 to 15,000 next year. So that means I need 30,000 passengers. And again, I don't know the number, how many comes on average together. So I use 2. So I need 30,000 just to meet the 15,000 that were potentially added this year to break even. And those people stay in a hotel or Airbnb. And then next year, I need another 330,000. So that in itself, we have to increase tourism by 330,000 just off of simple math, just to break even and avoid hotel occupancy rates going down, which is what happened this year. So I think it's going to be hard pressed to get another 1 million passengers. I really do. I think because of a tourism situation and the 80% of Americans living paycheck to paycheck, 85% of Canadians, the top 2 markets, they're negative year over year from 2024 in tourist numbers. So I think that trend's going to continue because airfare in DR is going up because the airports charge higher taxes now. So you can no longer have those $99 round trips or $199 round trips. Punta Cana Airport's out of control. They're charging like $70-$80 on the inbound in taxes. So them and the outbound is lower. It's I can't remember when I saw it, but it's like $40. So it's $135 or $140 round trip just in airport taxes now. And they could raise them next year. So there's no way that airfare can be anything cheap, even on the East Coast. So it's no longer 99, 130, 150 round trips. You're talking about 250, 300, 400 round trips. So that's why you're not going to have a higher influx of USA and Canadian citizens who have the most disposable income that would be coming. You've reduced that market. So now you have to make it up from South America, Central America, and other countries that are not known to be tourist countries who their citizens buy real estate or start businesses, right? So it's going to be very interesting dynamic what happens over the next 2 years, in my opinion, but we'll see. All right, let's go. Everything's a buy, ladies and gentlemen. Oh my goodness. Are you serious? ETH is 2,800 right now. I believe that's a buy time. It's go time for them. You should be getting some of this. Oh my goodness. Well, post retirement travel, since you and your brother are going to be out there, um, what are you going to be renting your Galaxy unit for? The 2 bedroom unit, 2 bedroom, 2 bath. I mean, I don't know if you can actually rent it for 200 a night. I mean, well, you're in Galaxy, which is right up front, so you might be able to get 250 or 300. I just I don't know, but I do know this. I just don't at Conor Rock. I don't see how you get a set. I see where you can get 50%, which I don't think that I think that's detrimental in my opinion. Because if there's a hurricane, if there's an earthquake, if there's anything that stops people from coming for a week or two, that's a problem. And so sooner, and the risk to reward ratio starts coming out crazy because, again, we didn't have one last year, but there could be something this year. Every year, there's so much risk. And just to get 7 to 10% off of that, I get it, it's real estate. I get it, it went up in value. So to me, like I told everybody, I'll just tell you guys, if it turned out where the Laramar guys go, oh, Eric, we're not going to screw you. We'll since we kept your money, we'll let you buy it at the end or whatever. They could say no. But if they came to me and said, um, we'll just give you the value of it, whatever it was later, or do you want to buy it? I'm probably gonna say I'm not buying it. And there's a reason I'm saying this. It's only because I know that they keep building hotel units and they keep building units. We're outpacing how many people's coming to the island by millions. And 2 years from now, if we go last year, this year, and this year, we're talking about 40, somewhere between 45,000 to 50,000 hotel units and Airbnbs added to the island in the last 3 years. That means we need like the numbers that we see now, right? You go, okay, Eric, we've added like 3 to 400,000 per year. Well, we have to, because you need, if there's 2 people coming that would stay somewhere, you need 45,000 a week. Now you see 500,000 a month minimum just to stay level. 500,000 a year just to stay level. So if we can't get that, then we're going to be behind, which is what happened this year when all of a sudden the occupancy rate for 8 out of the 11 months so far is negative. And if there's an economic downturn like what we're having here in America, a little chaos, so people are kind of trying to save their money and they should be investing in like ETH right now. 2,800. Is this for real right now? Did you hit 86? Okay, we talked about this before. You can't sit on the sidelines. This is what happened before. It went up to 77, 60,000, and everybody said, "Oh, it's going away." It went down to 29, 28, 10,000. Oh no, sorry, wrong. 17,000, from like 60 to 17. And people at about 25, 26, there was people on the YouTubes like, yeah, it's going to go to zero. I told you so. It's not worth anything. And I'm like, nah, you better get some. So here we are again. 86,000. And if it keeps dropping, you should be getting some now. Yes, your dollar cost average will rise higher, but what's going to end up happening is it's going to go past 125. And if it shoots up to 150, 175, which is a real possibility, you would be kicking yourself. Because even then, if you get 100% profit, you need 168, 86, 86. So 172, 172K, double your money with an asset that has a sky's the limit, because this administration is making sure that they can accept crypto from anonymous sources. And I won't get into that tonight. But XRP's under $2. It's 186. It was over 3. I'm not a fan of XRP like most people, because Ripple and XRP are separate. Wait, I just noticed he's using dynamic pricing. I changed the dates and it's giving me 135 per night. That's the key. Let dynamic pricing dictate the rate. Yeah. So that means it fluctuates. But nonetheless, I get what you're saying. All I can do is hope that he's got a nice looking unit, which is one of the keys. Make sure your unit looks nice. Remember, we said don't cheat yourself on the furnishings and making it look presentable. That's half of your battle. Okay. Pricing is another large percentage of that battle. So you have the nice place. You generally maybe even charge a little more, maybe not. But the fact of the matter is people are going to want to book with you when they see your furnishings, when they see your design. That is major. That helps you with your occupancy rate. So we can wish nothing but the best for him. But again, if he gets, again, under 10% to me is like, I'm not really trying to shoot for that, because you could just have easily just put it in the stock market and gone on about your business if you just wanted 9.5 or 8% or 7%. Now, granted, it's a little bit different vehicle, but with what we had to go through with pre-construction, it wasn't just a straight buy. We had to wait year after year while the stock market was going up double and triple, 3 times. I mean, every president, the stock market has went higher. So while we're sitting there year after year, and it's 4 years that go by, 2 administration changes, and the stock market's going higher than the previous, and all that money was sitting on an island, and you're sitting there like, damn, I could have just had this right here. And that 100,000 that I gave, or 70,000 I gave these guys, would have been worth 150, 225. I wouldn't even be thinking about this, is what I'm getting at. So it ends up all well ends well, but at least he has real estate on the island. At least I guess it's worth. People were selling their 1 bedrooms out there for 195. Asking to something, and then they reduced them. I'm in other forums where people are trying to sell their Condo Rock units, and initially they were like, because of the pre-constructions, they were trying to charge like 250, 230, but then nobody was buying, and then they would reduce them under 200, and then they would sell them somewhere. They never really say. It's just that they reduced the price. You would see like 189, 195, 179, and it's a different building, so it's not in either one of your buildings. But all I'm saying is the sales is the resales is not the same as the pre-construction prices, whatever those are at the moment. I haven't even looked at that stuff anymore because those guys irritated me. But dynamic pricing is cool. That works. But yeah, it's going to be very interesting what happens at Condo Rock, because there's more units coming as well, which again, that adds this thing about there's so many units out there. It's crazy. But again, at least he stands out. So hopefully that gets him, if he can maintain 70%, that would, well, I don't know I don't know about the 900 or 700 a month. I don't really like that. Buying at 120 and having a $10,000 annual return is less than 10%. So I'm I don't get extravagant. Like now, Larimar, if I got to keep Larimar and it's 133, 131, whatever it was, Um, I don't even want to rock with these guys really, so I would just sell it. I don't know if it's. I don't even care if it was worth 150, 175, 200, 250. I don't really care. I don't know what it's worth, but I would sell it because I just don't see how we keep up with tourists, and especially even though I love Larimar, it has all these. Well, I don't even know what iteration they'll make it, but if they make it close to what they were supposed to have, it'll be a place. But that place is based on if you have high tourist numbers because you have people driving away from Punta Cana. That 10-15 minute drive. And you're saying, come up here where we have a pool, man made beaches. I mean, restaurant, bar. Okay, great. But restaurant, bars, and everything are right when we landed. So coming out there and saying we have a golf course. Okay, right. Well, that you're going by golf courses. I mean, if you got to have a reason when you're 15 to 20 minutes away, and if tourism isn't a high number, then there's no way people are coming 20 minutes from where the beach is to come hang out, no matter how cool. But you got to make it cool, and I don't know if they're going to make it cool as their original designs were. Obviously not. But all I'm saying is they need something out there. We'll see. I could be wrong, but who knows? Maybe we'll have a somehow an upturn, and there's 14 million people coming in 2 years to the island. I don't know how, but if that happened, then everybody would be doing the salsa dance. We need 14 mil, and if they keep building, it's going to be 15 mil by the next 2 or 3 years. I mean, we're not talking about a long time runway. They need that like yesterday, and they can't keep building 14 to 15,000 units between Airbnb and hotel units and thinking they're good. That's going to come to an end, but they don't think so. They have hotels that's going to still be finished in 2, 3 years from now. More projects are going to be done that are still in the pipeline that were out since 2000 that haven't been delivered yet, that have hundreds of units in their project. So it's a bad news, ladies and gentlemen, as far as I'm concerned. I just don't see where they're going to get the influx of tourists that's willing to buy properties or stay weekly and pay a higher price. And all the pre-constructions now are higher priced. Like, I don't know what Connell Rock's one bedrooms are selling for, but they got to be probably 220 to 250. Nobody can charge 250 a night for a one bedroom at Connell Rock. That's crazy. Where post retirement travels unit in the Galaxy, his units allegedly are over 400 grand. Nobody's going to be charging 400 because we go 0.1% of what you purchased it for should be your rental price. So, and then you're going to need a 50% occupancy rate, which is doable, I would imagine. But buying at 430, 450,000 or more for a 2 bedroom unit and not being able to guarantee that you're going to be making, 10%, it's a high risk, low reward rate. So we're going to find out. But everybody who bought cheaper, like around 200,000, yeah, $200 a night, that's doable. They get to win. But if you bought it for, oof, that's going to be rough. That's going to be real rough. So, but we're all going to find out how it goes. But all we can do is hope that somehow magically the tourism numbers kick up from Canada and USA, because that's the only way it's going to be successful over there on the island. All right, I'm out, ladies and gentlemen. That's enough. Yes, let's go. Okay, I think the sweet spot for me at Galaxy Boo 175 per night average. However, we're definitely doing dynamic pricing. There's no way we'll be okay doing that low during special annual holiday. Yeah, holidays, you always bump it up. The Christmas, New Year's week, um, 3-day weekends, lots of those come up from America at least once every 2 or 3 months. So, and then There's special events. Well, I don't even know if that happens anymore. There used to be the one at the Soul, Sound and Soul, whatever it used to be in January at the Hard Rock. That was canceled 2 years ago. Um, there used to be events, and remember they were charging. Oh my God, it was $1,100 per night at the Hard Rock when they ran that event, and you had to do like 4 nights minimum. So that was a perfect opportunity for somebody that had a 2 bedroom, not just a unit, to be charging people 500 a night, because that included all inclusive. But 500 a night, a person pays 2 grand versus getting the all inclusive and having to pay like 1,100 plus tax and all this stuff, and it ends up being like 5 grand. So you would have been good with saving 3 grand to go eat out for 4 nights. I mean, come on now. That's you can't spend 3 grand in 4 nights with 2 or 3 people. That's crazy. In the DR. So you would have been saving all kind of money. That was a perfect setup. And then they have that other one they used to have down there too, the Latin uh, thing. I think they still have that. But they used to have more events, but it's just getting harder and harder because the guys in DR are charging an arm and a leg. They're like, oh, we can make money now. The guys that throw the events and they're charging thousands of dollars. So when I did mine last year, I was like, you guys have lost your mind out here. I can do this same event in the US for less. Yeah, it's crazy. Hey, Eric, NBA All-Star game in LA in February. Oh, man, really? Wow, like old times. Oh, I don't think I'm going to make it, but you never know. I'll be trading by then too. So you never know. I might be back in my little, I got, in fact, my friend, um, all the time why I used to always invite you guys to all this stuff, all these events was because my friend, he actually did the ticket sales. He was a broker. So me and him had a, relationship where, um, all these events that would happen, he would, say, hey, like Brian P would say, the All-Star game, man, I'm going to be there, um, uh, like these 3 days or whatever. And then I would say, oh, okay, man. So I got you a 2 bedroom because, he might have friends or whatever. I'd say, okay, I got you a 2 bedroom down in wherever in LA. And for the 3 or 4 days. And then he would have tickets for me. So that's why I was always able to tell you guys, just come on down. I got your tickets. Because I had tickets. So I would have tickets for at the time, back in the day, Playboy party's not all that nice anymore. The Maxim party, the Direct TV Saturday night party, the whatever they got, Mike Ditka cigars and brew or whatever it was called on Thursday night. So it would be like Sports Illustrated, whatever, whatever events, you know, um, tailgate party, the Gronk party, but obviously you can't go to all of them, right? The Shaq party because they overlap. So you got to pick and choose. So even though I can have tickets to almost everything, I still was like, well, these are on Friday night. Which one you got to take? This is on Thursday. Which one you got to take? Right. So I don't have that anymore. My friend would never, unfortunately, he died. Um, Sadly, he abused drugs. It was sad. Even with me around, and I known him for years, I tell him, I say, hey, man, you need to stop the drug use, stop using it. I'd be grabbing stuff like, hey, man, isn't that a vial or something? Like, what the? It's like, what are you doing? Not necessarily a nice guy, but he used drugs. He OD'd, died. But he was the life of the party all the time. He was cool, but he would not give up the drugs. It was crazy. So, and we did this for years. And every time I was always worried that I would never hear from him. And then one year, like 2 years ago, I think it was 3 years ago, 2 years ago. And I was like, wait a minute. He always calls me on something came up. I didn't hear from him. Then I started calling. He didn't answer the phone. That's not out the ordinary. I called him, no answer. Kept going to voicemail. He always calls me back. So then I went to it, looking around for him on social media, no postings, no nothing. I'm like, what the heck? So then I had to hit up his brother and I asked him, hey, what's going on? He says, yeah, my brother passed away a few weeks ago. I was like, what? I said, wow. And, I couldn't tell him, but I was like, it was always a problem, always a problem. So, you know how it goes, addiction. And they go, I got it under control. How long you know me? I was like, well, a decade or so, but come on, man. He would never stop. Never could get him to stop unless I hung out with him, which that was another story. you know, because then he would run off anyhow. I'd be like trying to, hey man, yeah, just come hang out. We'll be, come to the thing. I'll come get you, hang out, so I can stop his usage for the freaking 5 hours. After that, who knows what he's doing? But yeah, man. By the way, NBA All-Star game. It's Wednesday night. I'll give a story. NBA All-Star game, LA, 19. No, 2005-ish, I think it was. No. 2000. It had to be 2003. Now that I'm thinking about it. No, yeah, man, 2003 or 2004. I can't remember. But anyhow, I have this friend of mine. He starts saying, "Hey, man, I gotta, uh, I gotta, I want to do an event down in LA during the NBA All Star game." I said, "Really?" I said, "Okay." I said, "That's very, very interesting." I said, "That's kind of cool. I'm down with what we got on mind." He goes, "I want to go down to, I think it was called, it's in Hollywood, the Athletic Club. I think that's what it was called. It has a pool. It's where all the old movie stars used to go. It's a swimming area, but they have a bar. It's pretty cool. They run events there." And so he tells me, I said, "Well, okay, so who's involved with this?" He goes, "Just me and you." I was like, "Me and you? Okay, cool." I said, "No problem. I'm down with that." I said, I used to play a little hoops. I think I can get some NBA dudes to come to the party, hang out. I think we can get some beautiful women because we need the beautiful women. I'm like, I'm good. We can make it happen. So now all this preparation, and now we have to drive down because we're in Northern California. He already had it scouted out in an agreement. So me and him get in the car. We drive down to LA. Get down to LA, go to this, whatever, athletic club. It's on Sunset. Um, I think it was. But anyhow, doesn't matter. The point is, we get down there and we're going through the contracts, right? They already faxed them. We already had people look over it. We're going through the contract for the event and everything. So we're sitting at the round table in the boardroom at this place. And my friend, we're sitting there and they slide over the papers for us to sign. So his name's on it, my name's on it. So I sign, date, I slide the paper to him, and he's like sitting there, like, like this. And I'm like, what's going on, man? Why aren't you signing the paper? Mind you, this is 3 to 4 weeks that me and him are talking. 3 to 4 weeks, we're putting everything together. You know what he says? Uh, uh, I actually got partners that I got to talk to. We're at the table, money exchanging hands at this point after we sign for the deposits and all that. And he says, I got to talk to partners. I said, what? What did you just say right now? What are you talking about? You, needless to say, that was 20 years ago. I was much younger. I didn't take too kindly. Let's just say I'm not that guy. I'm not that guy. I didn't take it too kindly that all of a sudden I'm hearing, while we traveled from SAC to LA, and I'm hearing I gotta talk to what partners are you freaking talking about, man? I said, okay. I'm leaving. He comes out. Hey man, hey man. I said, hey man, nothing. F you. That's how it went. Now, mind you, we had a couple $1,000 deposit on the place already. That's it. It was just minor show. Hey, we need some money. If you're serious about this, throw us down some little. It was more that was supposed to be due. That's what we were paying the additional. So after we have this falling out, because I said, F you, man. And it's even worse, but I won't get into that. But the point is, stays at my house in my wedding. This dude does this. I said, nah, man, we ain't like that no more. So I just say, F you. He's like, well, what about the money? I said, F the money. F you, F the money. I get a call a year later, probably, from a number I've never seen. It ends up being this dude. I could not believe what I heard. The dude says, hey, man, I owe you some money. I said, what for? It's like, I don't even know what you're calling me for. He's like, I owe you some money. I said, why? I said, well, okay, that deposit stuff, I don't care about that, man. I don't even want to see you. He says, oh, I did the event. Now, mind you, almost a year goes by. I did the event, and I just figured I better come up and give you some of the proceeds from it because me and you were supposed to be doing it, and all this BS. So he gave me some money. I mean, it was like maybe 4 Gs or 5 Gs, whatever. I don't really care what it was. He gave it to me. He walks outside because I'm short and sharp. Hey, I ain't got nothing to say. Thanks, appreciate it. Have a nice life. So he goes, man, I don't understand why you're mad. What do you mean you don't understand why I'm mad? Thanks for the money. Appreciate it. He goes, all right, all right. So now he gets in his car. I close my door. He cuts his car on, drives off. 3 minutes later, ding dong. And I'm thinking, okay, dude left. It must be somebody else. I don't know who it is. Who's coming to my house? What the hell? I open the door. He's standing there. He says, oh, man, I just want to talk with you. Yeah, I said, we ain't got shit to talk about. I said, I appreciate the dollars. Whatever. I don't even care. But you ain't nothing. He says, I want you to join me in another venture. I said, dude, you got nerve. You got nerve. I said, dude, you better get off my porch right now. You better get off my porch right now. You got nerve. Dude, I don't ever want to see you again. I was like, have you lost your freaking mind right now? Don't even come to my house again. I couldn't believe the nerve. I was like, no, dude. And I've never spoken to him since. It was crazy. I took dude to the Oakland Coliseum. I should do this Friday night. Oakland Coliseum. Hector Macho Camacho and somebody to the boxing matches. And I told part of this or this before, but I didn't tell you about this guy. But he was with me when I took him there. And we're sitting in the stands. And then the announcers that's announcing the boxing match, I tell them, hey, man, I know this guy. That voice, I know that voice. He's from Sacktown. We're in Oakland. And I'm sitting there like, he's like, no, man, no. I said, I'll bet you. I know who this is. So I said, let's go. I got to go down here during the, intermissions, whenever, the 3 minute, whatever, during each round. I go down there. I said, hey, man. Dude's like, oh, what's up? Man, you need to come to my pad. Dude couldn't believe it. He's like, well, what the hell? You know everybody everywhere. I said, dude, I get around. I'm a California kid. All right, guys, that's enough. Let's go. So the LA game, are you going to be there, Brian P? Let me know. Um, in fact, it's going to be February. Yeah, I've been wanting to get back into the little fun and gamey thing. He's going to the events, that they have. NBA All Star has events too, but the NBA All Star is different than the NFL. It's a smaller, since it's only basketball, and there's not like 80,000, 150,000 people that can sit in stands or go to the events and stuff like that. It's a different dynamic. So venues are basically like little clubs, and you know players from basketball, football come, plus the celebrities and things like this. They still have the same, um, like the same parties, but the venues are generally smaller. But they're still nice. I like the parties. I don't care about the game. It's like I don't really care. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to wrap this up. Again, it's financial Armageddon out here. You got to live, you got to have fun, but you're definitely going to have to make more money. And I should have said this from the beginning. The reason why Armageddon is more than what we've described earlier is simply because the oil and energy of America is being sucked out. The value of crude oil is going down. So if the value of crude oil goes down, the petrodollar goes down and loses value, that's hidden inflation, because now you need more of your dollar to buy more product. So hidden inflation. You don't know about it. Now we're subsidizing data centers. We're subsidizing our allies by giving them energy. You're going to pay higher prices of energy because our grid can't handle the additional energy that's needed to supply our allies, other countries. So now your energy bill is not going to be what it is now after it's went up. How about if the next 2 to 3 years, your energy bill is going to be double to triple? And because we have an administration that doesn't believe in renewable energy sources, guess what? There's no expansion of gigawatts. We need extra gigawatts. So what are they going to do? They're going to sell the energy to our allies. We don't have enough extra energy to supply them and us. So where do you get the extra energy from? When you start cutting off people's energy bills and they can't pay when they're freaking $500, $700 per month. Taxpayers, who's giving the energy company subsidies. That's right. I suggest you learn about the oil industry a little more, and then you'll understand why Trump is trying to do this blockade, but it won't work. You could have a spike in oil prices, but if the WTI crude goes below like a $45, $50 level, layoffs, American oil rigs go bye. Gas prices, energy prices go up. Do you understand? Financial Armageddon is already coming. The snowball is going downhill. It can't be stopped because we don't create enough energy. And by the GOP voting against solar, wind power to get the extra gigawatts, American citizens who live in America, who's on the grid, are going to suffer mightily. So just to survive, you better be paying attention if you're going to have health care, if you're going to have a mortgage, because your insurance, your property taxes are not going to be what they are now. And in the next 2 years, You're going to start seeing, if you thought 14, 15, 20% energy bills was getting kind of messed up, what do you think is going to happen when it's a 30%, 40% increase of what you're paying now? It's coming. And the natural gas, that's also shared with other countries because they're buying it. Yeah, natural gas is going to spike as well. And if our oil rigs in America start going out because the crude oil price is not worth creating it, pulling it out of the ground because it costs a certain amount, gas prices, energy prices all go hand in hand because transportation costs and the prices are going to start going double when you have a low supply, high demand. It's coming near you as soon as there's warm temperatures starting next year, and you start finding out in about 6 months. So again, you have 1 year. Get your credit score intact. In fact, while I'm doing this, smart credit. And by the way, at the end of this, I'm just going to say, if you've watched it this long, if anybody wants to find out about the live chat, to find these, uh, to find, I'm looking for smart credit. That's why I'm holding up. But to find the live chat so you can find the links, you got to swipe left in the comment section on mobile to find out, and then something will pop up saying, do you want to see live chat? And then you press on it, and it opens up the live chat during the live stream. If you're on mobile, and that might even be on laptop, I haven't checked yet, but just in case, because I've been saying for weeks, oh, it's in the chat room for everybody on replay. And then come to find out now, just yesterday, I was looking for a link to share the Candlestick Bible, and I couldn't find it. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Smart credit, that can help you out. And the first few minutes of this live stream, I'm sorry again, but it'll be edited out at the end. But yeah, talking for the longest monologue beginning ever. And it was no go. But anyhow, thank you guys very much. I'll see you guys on Friday night at 9:10 p.m. Appreciate everything. I love you guys. Appreciate your support. I appreciate the members of the channel. But Financial Armageddon's coming, ladies and gentlemen, and you can't stop it. Even if you're rich, you can't stop it. You're going to be paying more no matter what. And that's why a lot of the wealthy are moving offshore. And you should think about things offshore, bank accounts, real estate, or business. But you should have something outside of America's reach, with outside of their banking system. And that's why I say get the Bankus Visa debit card. It's a crypto Visa debit card. I'm going to put it right here at the end because some people might not even know nothing about it. And there is a Zoom call tomorrow, 2 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Eastern. So I highly suggest you get on that. And it's a moneymaker. You can refer other people. Every time somebody orders a card, you can get a dollar or something. Every time a person uploads the card, you can get a few cents. So share the link, help other people. Once you download this, you don't have to order the card. You can download using my link, and then you sign up, and then you share your link with others. But the card is only, what is it, $45 for the plastic card. That's a tap. I don't have mine yet. I just ordered mine on the 14th, I believe, or 13th. It should come in 2 to 3 weeks. So sometime in January, I'm expecting it. First week or so in January, maybe sooner. But that's when I'll get mine. And you load it with crypto, which is a beautiful thing. So if I'm trading, like I suggest you do, and I use CoinX, I'm downloading it to my card. And the card is outside the United States territory as well. It's not based in the USA. So once again, that meets all of my criteria because I have had the government and multi-million-dollar companies steal assets. All right. So you heard me. Government, mortgage companies, brokerage accounts, stolen in my lifetime by government. All legal, apparently, but people don't realize it does happen to a small amount of people. I don't know how many, but probably my guess is 1 million people a year. Because if it was 50 million people, obviously there would be a big, big uproar. But they do target, only do so many people. So just keep that in mind. Just like we were talking about Dave Ramsey in the late 80s when they called all his notes due, that's stealing. They said, oh, well, it's the savings and loan crisis. We have a problem. We're calling all your mortgages due. Well, who can pay for their mortgage in full when you get a phone call and they say, well, in 30 days, you got to pay us or we're taking it back, right? Pretty much nobody. So that's what happened to him. Then we got Steve Mnuchin out here doing reverse mortgages, knowing elderly people do not have an increase in their income, and then reverse mortgage they can't, and he calls those due or forecloses on them, which that shouldn't have happened. He doesn't go to jail. He just has to pay $89 million for his One West Bank. That's another way they steal. They just go and take the money out of your bank accounts or keep your brokerage account hostage. That's how they steal. There's all kind of things that happens. That's why I have disdain for when people say, well, give the rich tax cut, tax breaks, subsidies, and all this stuff. I'm like, they're stealing your wage theft because they're not wanting to pay everybody $45 to $65 that's in their employment per hour. That's wage theft. They don't want you to form a union, so therefore you have medical care and health care included with your job. So now they're infringing on your health care and you work in a job and they're not going to help you with that. So now you got to subsidize it through the corporation or you got to get your own health care. Then the GOP wants to cut the Affordable Care Act to make it not affordable, well, not even have it at all, or take the money away from Medicare and ACA subsidies. So then you're going to pay double or triple. Do you see how you're on a teeter-totter? Armageddon has arrived and we have our own government doing it with the rich dudes. You guys got to understand, everything is not great in La La Land. Great USA laws, which are now almost mute. Free speech? No. You come into America, if you happen to see this outside of America, if you have anything bad, any criticism about the United States government on your phone, you're going to be sent back. You can't come in. This is what we're dealing with right now. Just saying, even American citizens, they're checking your stuff. I mean, this is getting like we're in Germany, 1930. This is crazy right now. This is China. I mean, this is North Korea style stuff. This is Cuba style stuff. This is crazy right now. So Armageddon is here already. It's just the snowball is way up on top of the mountain and you don't know it hit you yet because you're still sleeping. I'm not trying to have you sleep because then you won't be prepared. So again, get your crypto Visa debit card. They have a metal card that's $85 shipped. Then they have the tap card, which is plastic, $45 shipped. You have to upload crypto to it because it's $45 USDT for the tap card and it was $85 for the metal card. And you can load up USDT. But anyhow, just get started and then find out tomorrow night, 2 p.m. Eastern or 8 p.m. Eastern on Thursday. You can find out every Thursday and Tuesday at the same time, same Zoom call. You can see people there. If you have any questions, you can always hit me up on any live stream. You guys know where to find me. And whatever you do, be safe out here because there's another mass shooting today. Like, that's a normal thing here in America, which is unreal. People are under stress and duress naturally. It's Christmas time. People get depression because they feel that I can't, they're caught up in this. I got to buy, I got to provide, and I can't. I lost my job, or I'm having, mental health issues, or I'm having relationship issues. So a lot of things happen in the next 2 weeks that traditionally people are able to deal with, but there's a lot of pressure. So just be safe. Watch where you're going because you never know what's going to happen out here. People are under stress and duress. You never know what they're going to do. So just try to keep a level head, all right? And with all that said, make sure no matter what you do is keep your head up, keep moving, and I'm out.